Hello and welcome to the ISE ETF and Index Outlook for August 6, 2012. This is Patrick Seresna. As always, we start off with a chart of the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange traded fund symbol SPY. We've continued to see the uptrend continue as we're making higher highs and higher lows in sequential fashion for over the entire month of July. We've been looking for the idea of whether or not the S&P 500 was creating a rising wedge that was going to bearishly break down, but defiantly each time the bears have had the opportunity to sell the market, they simply have not had the momentum, and almost immediately the bulls would come back and start accumulating on the upside. Really at this stage there is no evidence that the bears have gained control, even on last week's attempt to reverse the market on Draghi's comments, but reluctantly the market continues to edge forward. We're coming to a crucial level now as we're very close to approaching the previous highs of the year around this 141, 142 level. This is happening at the same time as it's occurring on the Dow. Really at this stage is going to be a level that it's going to be a true make it or break it moment, because a rejection off that level would imply many different sell cycles that could underway. But in the same regard, if the bulls were able to actually gain momentum through that on the upside, that would certainly support the idea that that there is further upside. We'll be watching over the next week or two at the decision the market makes at these levels. Next here I want to take a look at the ISE Global Copper Index, which is symbol ISC, and even though we've seen a little bit lower lows on each sequential push, we have seen the 280 to 290 focal point hold the markets very well. Overall, the selling momentum has completely tapered in this index, but yet we don't see any upside bullish momentum yet. Really at this stage, it is likely we could see follow through back towards the 320 level on the upside where there's overhead resistance, and then likely yet again into the month of September there may still be yet another retest to bang out a bottom. But it is likely that we are seeing the right price levels for the bottom, but it is likely that a robust expansion on the upside is going to likely be occurring in the latter months of the year. Next here I want to take a look at the ISE Chindia Index, which is symbol ICK, and we've seen a very important support line yet again create a bounce and reversal for this index. That 42.43 has acted like support back in December, May, and now again in July. This time we may be banging out a short-term double bottom along these lows. Well, just because we're now 2 weeks off of that low, it doesn't imply that a new bull market has begun, but it certainly is constructively positive in regards to knowing that buyers are accumulating on weakness. This is the first sign of something that could potentially develop into a bullish scenario. We'll be watching how the chart patterns develop in the upcoming months. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Water Index, which is a symbol HHO, and the Water Index, we were talking about that same rising wedge as in the S&P, and suggested that break of the 87, 88 level would imply that a new sell cycle is underway. Well, that support came in very quickly on that index and reversed it straight back up toward the highs, and now making higher highs. We are now again looking at a scenario that is very correlated with the S&P 500 going back to approach its previous highs. It is likely here that the S&P and the Water Index alike are likely to now finish these moves and bang out where these highs will come in. So looking for 93 and 94 on the upside of the Water Index is not unrealistic. It's just the risk-reward proposition of holding them long has a diminishing payoff, but nonetheless the most immediate trend is likely for these moves to finish on the upside. That was your ISE ETF and Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.